Yo, g'day guys, Brisbane brothers here, Aussie,
and Dan's.
We're back out a second time at this XW project. Check this out guys.
What a beautiful car.
Starlight Blue GD replica. What we did last time we were here guys, we fed the new loom out where it's meant to go. Got the loom started, we fitted the V8 accelerator pedal back in, connected it up onto the car, we put the V8 base plates in, bolted them up. We removed the brake booster bracket, fitted it back to the booster and fitted the booster and bracket into the car. And a couple of other little jobs too.
We did not touch the steering box.
What happened last week that caught us out guys was the one pro comp part in the whole build. This customer's awesome. He's spared no expense on everything. He's really planned it out. He's got new bolts everywhere. Look at the condition of the car. It's
Just
mint.
to show an example, guys.
Right, it's a mint.
Brand new brake
brand
lines.
new front brake lines.
Brand new pins for the sway bar. Brand new extractors.
Brand new pacemaker extractors.
Brand new brake lines. Like
Fully rebuilt 4V 351 Cleveland. Look at these guys. Look
Brand
at
new.
these. Powered by Ford. Look, rocker cover spacers guys. They're quite thick. Roller rockers, hydraulic roller cam, 4V.
It's a freshie guys. Fully
Open chamber heads.
reconditioned.
Look, decent harmonic balancer. MSD. Wow. Beautiful.
Waned accelerator, guys. Look at it. Brand new engine lift plate. No expense.
We've got the
spared.
C4 over
Absolute
here.
doozy. It's been
This
fully
C4,
recoed.
he knows, is a good working box. It's been recently rebuilt. It's got an up and down selector. It's going to be going into the car T-bar. That's a bit of a weird linkage. That's FMX. That's not C4. This linkage here. So we'll probably have to swap that around.
You
Alrighty.
thought it had brought the right linkage.
Yeah, alrighty. I did bring up spare linkage. Alright guys, so what we're going to get back to now that we've fixed this problematic converter, which we'll tap into later, and it's ready to fit, we'll get back into coupling the sandwich plate and the flex plate back on the back of the engine. So the first thing guys, once again, make sure your surfaces are clean. We'll get our sandwich plate, we'll chuck it straight back on here guys.
Everything's been pre-cleaned, degrees wiped down, we've checked the dowels, we had to make sure everything fits, so we've had to clean back dowels, clean back this number of the converter, grease here, clean back all the surfaces.
Clean this, clean that. Alright guys,
There's
so
no shortcuts guys.
as we said last week, these things go on one way. These things go on one way.
So what
with
you
the
got to
bolt
do guys, is you got to hold it there and rotate it until you find the right pattern. So that's not it. Just keep going around, you actually leave it on there and just spin it. You just spin it to the next. No, that's not it. Spin it to the next one.
No.
Yep. No, that's not it. Got excited then.
That's it I think.
No, that's not it.
No.
That looks
That
like the
must be
ticket. That's the one guys, so
Must
see?
be.
You rotate it around until you find it
I'll
where
hold
all the
this in
six are
place
lined
now
up.
guys
Yep.
with one finger.
Alright, so you grab the flex plate bolts. We're going to just put this tiniest little bit of Loctite, guys. It's a
decent
permanent,
drop.
so we're just going to put a little tiny,
There's a lot of thread there, so just a drop on one coil.
just a drop at the start.
Beautiful.
That's about all you need, guys. Start these in. You just don't want them rattling loose from vibration, but you don't want too much on there where it's going to be an absolute mish to get it out. Alright guys.
Got the
Just
rattle
get-
gun there for this.
Just get this one to get it on. Yep. Awesome. Alright guys, now we're going to just quickly put a dab on all these. Dab, 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 dab. Alright. This is what you want to do guys, you want to use the rattle gun. So you want to get it in, get it started. Get it in, get it started. Get it started.
We had this done last week guys, sadly it's been undone. We were just going to bring a drill and just set the holes bigger, but the customer took it off.
Notice the zigzag pattern. Alright guys, so let's be ready to torque up. Do the first torque, we'll get it close. It's 85 pounds foot pressure with the torque wrench for the flex plate bolts and a clevo. So we've got the 3/4
Big
ounce
screwdriver to lock it up over there.
big screwdriver to stop it spinning.
Blue one just on the very corner of the
yep, awesome through. Okay, we'll just do the first one to get it close, just to see, just bring it closer. Yep. You don't just want to go straight to 80 with one of them, guys. Everything, have a bit of mechanical empathy for. You want to bring it up nice and even. So this is roughly about probably 40 pounds by hand. You know, not all the way, just bring it in close. Now I'll go back and do the first click off. Alright, back to where I started here. It'd help if you had a third set of hands to hold the engine still, but we'll just, yep, awesome. So that's 80, 80, 85, sorry, 85, 85, 85, 85. Since it got Loctite on, that's spot on.
Okay guys, I'm going to show you something here guys. This box is meant to be rebuilt, but the vacuum hose here is split to the modulator. So I don't know how it could have been working. What we're going to do is replace this vacuum line here. This is very important. Now with the stripes on it, this is an original rubber hose. For some reason all the gearbox shops rebuilt the whole box, but they put this old piece of crap back on here. The modulator line vacuum is the brains behind the gearbox.
Look at that, guys.
Is it blocked?
It's blocked, guys. There's shit in there.
Is it?
A little bit of shit. We'll clean it out. Very important, guys. This is the second time I've seen this week, guys.
On rebuilt boxes.
Second time in a week. 2 customers have spent good money on a box, spent good money.
If I wasn't running around with my vacuum hose that I've got ready to go here.
Out there don't know how important the vacuum is, the brains behind the box, the vacuum module. And guys, there was a bit of foreign matter,
Got some Mackay rubber here.
Gonna clean it out for the customer, put a fresh vacuum line on.
Mackay rubber.
Blow through this part.
4mm vacuum hose.
Guys.
Make sure that flows.
Mint. Then we're going to clean up the module.
Now I'm going to cut a little bit and I'll replicate this piece down here, but we're going to have to blow that out quickly with a, probably through the end of this bit of hose. Can you hold this for a second?
No, like air compressor?
Yep. Perfect. I saw a bit of, see the shit that came out, guys? It's like a bit of mud wasps or something.
Better than it was.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Alright,
can you
let's
hold
get
this?
a fresh
I'll
bit.
Get the snips.
Aussie's going to get the snips, guys. Look at the setup here. You've got everything just laid out. Look at the car. Wow. Alright, Aussie's going to show you what he's doing here. So this is the latest, guys. Fresh hose.
Guys, it's annoying to run around and get stuff like this. So for me to just bring it and to think ahead and have all of these little things. Now this guy's planned all of this out, but he didn't think about this. He wouldn't have been getting gears. It would have been...
this is what comes, bro. You've got 10 years experience building cars, you know, so it's like something you've done quite a bit of. That's why you brought the extra right linkage and the right vacuum lines. And
alrighty, we'll get that line bent where it's meant to go there. And what you want here, guys, at the end when it's installed is a nice gradual bend to put this right in tight here like this. It's going to have a little bit of a kink there. It's a bit silly to have it running like that. Then you can just put it right here like this and just have a beautiful gradual bend.
So you want the radius, guys, here to be as nice and graceful,
no
not
point
to be
changing
shutting
the
the
hose
line
if it's shutting in. Yep.
See that, guys? Mandrel kind of, you know. No, it's not shutting in at all. Perfect, guys, bro. That's absolute minter.
Alrighty.
Alright, guys.
Sweats going, guys.
Got the sweats going.
We've got the vacuum line done there. Another little thing I like to do is check there's no dirt in here, guys. They both look pretty clean.
Check really thoroughly right in.
Something I completely overlooked that I noticed last week is this is completely the wrong fitting in the side of the box here. And I was meant to bring something else for that, but we'll talk about that later on. Oh, in fact, I'll just take a note and put it in my book while I remember.
So basically, guys, if you know the C4 has the one exiting out there horizontally, and this one exit out, it's meant to go 90 degree and it actually exits out vertically, but they've got 2 of the front fittings, so that's actually the wrong fitting into the side of the box here. So it could make the cooler line a bit of an issue for clearance, where normally it just jumps straight out the bottom.
Always take notes, guys. Plenty of notes.
Alright, guys, we've got all the parts laid out. We fitted the flex plate, we fitted the adapter plate to the converter. We've had to improvise a bit, guys, and use these like studs. It's a bit of a weird setup, guys. We'll show you what we're doing. Alright, now, before we put the converter on, we're going to put a bit of fluid in. You never want to put a dry converter on. You want to get about at least 500 mils to a litre in there. got a leader here. We're going to try and get, if you put too much in, it'll leak back out. If you go,
We put a bit in last week, but that's fully gone into it now, guys, so we're going to just put another bit more in.
At least 300 mils in there. Just so it's
If you try and put in too much too soon, it won't disappear into the fins, and when you pick it up and spin at 90 degrees to bolt it up, it'll leak. So not too much, guys. You really only want, because this is a 4,000 stool, I'd put half a litre. If it was a stock stool, they're a lot bigger, I'd go 1 litre.
Another thing, guys,
that's about it, bro. Yep.
Only Type F, and I cannot stress this enough, guys. Type F for Ford.
Pre-1982 models, Ford.
Guys,
it's the equivalent of Dex 2. Dex 3 is too thin, it just flies straight out the back.
Dex 3. Guys, this is an advanced tip, just to check that the input shaft is the right, because sometimes, guys, you can end up with the wrong converter or the wrong input shaft. So that's sweet, yep. The second step is to make sure the input shaft is right into the box. That's not in, that's in. See, guys? Right in.
There's a front and a back. That's the front, the longer one, the back's shorter.
Last little tip, guys. We don't want to catch on the seal of the converter. So this is just a little bit of like a,
engine assembly
OCD thing, just to put a little bit of extra
just around the front
lube here, guys, because we don't want that seal to catch. Just want it to go in nice, minimal, just a nice film. It's probably too much.
Out here. There's probably still a bit there from last week, but we'll just get the two.
Just to help it slide on.
That's so that square edge. It's not like a factory converter that's got the nice rolled edge, and we don't want it to pick up the seal and have any issues. So we want it lubed to go straight in.
It's a little bit of an abrupt
and we want
edge
to lube
here,
the
guys.
back of the engine here.
It's not radiused.
We'll just shuck a little bit in the back of there too, guys, and then we're done. We'll move on to the next step.
A little bit in there, so it's nice and smooth. All right,
beautiful,
guys. Beautiful.
Done. All right. You might have noticed we cleaned the paint off of the converter nub. Now it's time to fit the converter. So what you want to do, guys, is you want to actually look in the pump and try and see where your two flat tanks are, so you can peek in. It looks like I can kind of see. I can't really see actually. You want to get your two flats, line them up. I think it's over here, is it? And then get your converter and line it up on the ground, and you want to get 3 clicks out of the converter so that the converter goes.
Let's show them, bro. Let's show them this. It's going to be really hard to see, so it's going to be. So you're going to have to really pay attention here, guys.
I should probably get my headlamp out of my bag.
All right, just an old bloody phone light. We want to find, guys.
Everyone breaks C4s by not doing this one step here to find the two flats.
Okay, so I've got one here
at the bottom there. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I can see
it.
Just the top of that.
Hang on.
I can see just the top of that ledge.
Guys. It's the provision. So that is the provision that this is going to ride on.
Right at the very depth, which is going to be just this input.
There's only 2. There's not like it's another multi-fit. It only goes on the one way. The 2 slots and the 2 slots in there.
Yep,
so
we saw that, bro. Okay,
let's mind's eye it. So on a mark with my finger, kind of where it is, which is going to be on that line there, that dot there, and then the opposite dot is the. All right, perfect. So in between those 2 bolts. In between those 2. So I'm going to keep that mind's eye, line this up. Now this is very important, guys. Take your time here, slow right down. Alright. Watch the fluid's not going to come out. Yep, she's pretty full. Good, we're safe. Yep, we're safe. It's not going to come out. Little tip, guys, don't go too quick, it will come out. Allow it to drain in. Yep. See that? It's not going to leak out now. Yep. We're fine. Alright, so now we're going to get these 2 slots, mind's eye. The one was down there, so I'm going to put that one down there. You can't always get it first go, but you get it pretty close. Very carefully going on. Okay, wait.
1 click.
2
clicks.
3. Did you see? 2, 3, 1.
Yeah.
Now the one to check, guys. Hold it in to never let that slip out. We're going to get a straight edge. Whatever's handy. This looks a bit disgusting, but it's a broom handle. It's going to work as a straight edge on the bell. Look at that, guys. See this?
Completely under.
And you listen. You do not want this to move at any chance out forward now.
If you eyeball this, guys, this back part of the crank hangs past the engine, so this needs to be completely inset. If you look from here, not a stud, no part of the converter showing coming past the bell housing flat flange. So that's good. What we should do now, just to show you if we can do that slowly, is the 3 clicks, but I did hear the tut on the end.
So the only important thing is one person, his job is to make sure this does not come back forward. What we do is we actually keep a little bit of an angle. We have the back of the engine just down a bit.
The engine's actually just falling.
It's a little tip, guys, little trick.
So when you pick the box up, you're fitting it with the converter in like this.
As
and
I bring
mine's
this
eyeing
over
it
now,
on straight.
I'm gonna
If
hold
you
my
have the
hand.
box level, the converter will fall out, and if the engine moves, you don't want nothing. You got to. This has to be pretty stiff. That's even a bit floppy for my liking, guys. But we'll have a go.
As I'm moving this, my hand's going to push the converter in. Just
So
you
is this
cannot
lined
stress
up?
this enough, guys. We do not want this coming out, alright?
Is this lined up perfectly in the middle here? No, what you want to do, guys, is get the harmo and you want to turn this around to get it in the middle.
Right.
So perfect. So what you want, guys, is you want your X and Y for your converter studs to be perfectly to the middle, so that when you reach in through this starter motor hole to spin the converter, if it's a bit out in the coupling process, so you don't have too far to go before those studs just nail home through here. You do not want to be fighting it.
We've done this a lot, guys, and this is just the best
It's the only way to do it, otherwise you'll break the C4. Alright guys, I'll try and set the camera up probably back here somewhere for this scene. We'll pick the box up.
Very carefully, I'm going to keep the converter in. I'm just going to slide it up on this rag here. Keeping the converter in, do not want that converter to come forward, guys.
Did you line up the dowels up and down? Yep.
So
Okay,
line up the
great.
converter studs to be with there, get it as close as possible.
Okay, great.
That's about it.
Maybe
bro.
swing the two
Too
nuts
close.
over on this side.
Couple of gearbox nuts ready, because you don't want to be holding it on there for too long. If basically you just want to go on and never back. So you've got one shot, guys. You've got to get it up, keep it up. If you come back, if it comes back, guys, you've got to bring the whole thing back and double check the converters all the way back in. Alrighty.
Hopefully this will
This is going to be a hard one, bro, because of those studs.
Hopefully this will just balance here and
There's
they
going
can
to be
see the
hardly
seam.
any leeway. It's going
I
to
know.
be the most difficult box to fit. But we'll go. Alright, 2 bolts ready. 2 bolts, 2 bolts. Let's go, guys.
Go for my dowel.
Going for my dowel.
Spin it a bit towards you.
Yep.
It's not in on the bottom.
Dowel's not going in.
Okay, is it on?
My dowel's tight. Okay, put a bolt. Have we got it?
Is it on?
Yep. Get a bolt in.
The bottom's not in for some reason.
The dowel's a bit tight. So I'm going to bolt in here. Oh, what? The bottom stud's not in?
What?
Is the bottom stud through the flex?
Yeah.
Get mad. Probably get a...
Just let it go. You're picking it up too high.
Top's come off. Get these in.
That one needs a few under it.
Alright. Where's the... hold it up, bro. Just get this off it. Get that closer. Yep, that's it. Just hold up. That's it. You don't want to let it slip back, guys. Keep it hard up. Get one on this side, it's pulling away a little bit. Oh, that's it. Beautiful. This dowel was a tight one. Mint.
Are the bolt started?
Yep. Yep, you got all yours. Sweet. Double check the studs are coming through. Yep, awesome, guys. Alright, that's the hard part over. See, guys, successful. This is definitely not something to attempt by yourself. I don't think you can do it. Definitely 2 people for this.
Just by finger, guys. We're not going all the way because you've got to check that the engine turns over before you do these up too tight, or you can easily bust the pump even now at this stage still after checking everything. But if it's slipped or moved, in theory your door should be lined up. How much is the stud sticking out of the converter?
All the way out.
You'll have to get one
Way
finger.
out. Easy, easy, bro.
Yep, just get one finger
So
started.
wash your hands.
Yep.
Beautiful, guys. He's got
Alright
nine
guys, so
locks.
all the 6 bolts are on around the outside by finger. You've got these here.
So guys, the nylock's only in the tip there and it wasn't going all the way on, so we'll just try now about it.
You normally don't really use an eye-lock. This is really unusual with the ProComp converter. You know, the Ford ones are like an actual proper converter lock nut. And if they're not a lock nut and they're just a fine thread, they come with a spring washer.
Oh, it's a bit closer.
It's a bit closer, yeah.
The threads are just there. Yep, so it's just...
Not too bad. Okay, let's go to the next one now.
15-16 guys on the Harmo, the main crank bolt, and we'll turn it 90 degrees. Everything's clear, bro, yep.
Yep, I'll watch it, I'll tell you when. I'm listening out for any funny noises now too, in case the studs hit. Okay, a little bit more. You can see it already to get the nut on. Yep, perfect. Yep, perfect.
Sweet, another nut.
So we're just going to systematically work around, guys, and get these on. I'll stop the video and charge this GoPro a bit, and then we'll turn it back on when we're up to the talking stage. Alright guys, so gearbox is on. We fingered up the gearbox before. What we had to do now, guys, is start the converter. So you just get the nuts on finger first so that they all centralize. If you do one up and you're centered, you'll pull it in on an angle and you won't get it flat later. So you've really got to use your mind's eye. Just do it by finger. Let's get a bit of this 4V goodness quickly, guys. 4V Ford Zod, powered by Ford. Oh yeah, alright.
Absolutely.
So have you nipped that one up first?
Bro, they're all, I slowly took them all to the end. So if you spin it around, we'll give it the final. Is this
the first one you're gonna? Oh, yep.
Yep. And this will be the first one. I'll actually go tight.
Okay. Now what should I?
Yep. Crank. Well, close to tight, not at all. We'll just go tight with the spanner, then we'll spin it around.
Yeah. Now once you go from finger, this one's going to be to. Yep. That's
nice.
it.
Okay, next one.
Great.
Wait, hang on. 90 degrees. In front of the crank, 15, 16, and he's got a large handle. Yep. There we go. That's the bolt. Bring that to the bottom there. That's it. Yep. I can just get on. Sweet.
Okay. Perfect.
All right, guys. Next one.
I might just try and set the camera up.
Yep. A bit tighter.
That engine, because this is a bit hard to do with one hand.
2 buds.
Can we see that there? What's going on? Yep.
Awesome.
Okay,
Next
so
90.
Next 90.
Here it comes. Awesome. Next one.
So this is what we call like sort
Just
of
bringing it-
more than finger, just like the first.
Bringing it home. Just bringing it home.
How's an eye lock? Oh wow, look
Beautiful.
at that. That's beautiful.
One of the studs is just a little bit shorter. Yep. That's it. Look. All right.
So once you do this stage,
Yep,
guys, then we
nice.
go back and we send those bell housing bolts.
Do that last one
Then we
again.
chuck the inspection plate on. We move over to the starter motor.
This just double check this one again. See how they are in relation to the rest. Beautiful.
Okay, is this
Alright.
going to be the absolute final nip now around?
We'll
or
give
is
it the
that
absolute final nip around now, guys. We're going to put a bit of torque on it. It's an eye lock. No Pacific torque by hand. I'm going around.
They're of course they're not fine, so not too much, guys. About 35 foot-pounds, I think, is what these need.
Yeah, I was going to say it feels about 35, 40. Yep. Yep, bring it around. Yeah, that stud was a tiny bit shorter. Alright, get this one.
Perfect.
Yep, next one. Yep.
See, it's really a two-person job, guys.
Can't imagine trying to do this by yourself. You have to be bloody.
Well, I've undone them on my own a few times,
Superman.
but definitely don't try and put them on your own.
It's just too much to risk, eh?
Joke.
Yep, that's it.
That's the last one, eh?
That's the last one, bro. Oh, beautiful. That's it, guys. Done. So the gearbox, the flex is fully mounted. Now we're just going to tighten
Now
the bell
we'll-
housing bolts.
We'll tighten, yep. So here's your...
Alright, let's give these a bit of a nip, guys.
Right, let's
So
have
these
a
are the
peek at this
main-
engine again.
Main bolts holding the gearbox to the engine. Give them a final nip.
So a bit of an overview, MSD, Y-end, 4V heads, powered by Ford.
Cross pattern as always. Bit of a cross pattern, guys. Just getting it tied up.
6 bolts here, guys, into the block. These are only about 35 foot-pounds or something like that
too
as
much.
well.
That's it, as long as you do a nice cross pattern.
Beautiful. Now we'll jack it up just a bee's dick and we'll get the inspection plate in on the bottom, which we've got here ready to go with our 2 screws. That covers up that hole there. Then we'll move on to the starter motor here, which has been cleaned and restored. Some starter motors, guys, have a thread that comes through into the body, back through the gearbox bell. Some C4s have a thread in the bell, so we've already worked out. We've got our 1 thread in the bottom, we've got our 1 nut in the top. There's no thread here, and there's no thread in the top hole, so we're going to nut and bolt it.
You one prepared earlier.
It's just something you've got to be ready for.
Okay, first I'll put the inspection plate on because that gets a bit buried.
Should I jack it up a bit?
Yeah, bro.
Okay, I'll set this camera up here, hopefully it doesn't fall. Can you see the bottom
Alright,
of
guys,
the engine?
getting fun now.
This is it, guys.
Guys, all the hard stuff with the mating, guys, it's precision. You do not want to muck it up. It's a little bit high stress because we know how easy it is to go wrong, but we've got it done, guys. This is it. Lane sailing, yep, bro, this is looking up. Sweet. We just want to get enough height, guys.
About an inch, so you
That's,
can
yeah,
get the-
that's about enough. Sweet. Alright, sandwich plate just sits on there like that. Very easy, 2 bolts. You don't need any pressure on these bolts at all. Basically just holding it in. spring washers are awesome. Just flatten the spring washer and it's on. 2 nuts. Oh, use my mind's eye for this one. Hopefully you guys on the camera can watch and actually see.
I'm going to wedge this old transmission hump under the pan, guys, to level the engine out so we have heaps of clearance when we come to fitting our extractors now in a minute.
Awesome, genius. Alright.
Now we don't have to worry about keeping the engine level per se at this stage, guys, because the box is on, there's no converter that could potentially slip out and fall forward, but I'm just going to level it out anyway. Beautiful.
Just a knee turn, guys, 1/2 inch. Yep, that's it. That's it.